There's some important news breaking on your screens right now, and it is the CNBC TV 18 news break that has now been confirmed. The government has approved the next tranche of recapitalisation bonds for 12 public sector banks. Sapna Das joins in with all the details. Sapna, what is the total amount and which banks are likely to benefit and come out of PCA after this?
Yes, so as rightly understood earlier as well, the actual quantum is about 48,000 crores. Is what the government has planned now or decided to infuse in the public sector banks. As was being indicated earlier, 12 banks have been chosen for the recapitalization tranche, the next tranche, the latest tranche. And out of this, if you observe, the banks which are likely to come out of the PCAF, the next lot, basically Allahabad Bank and Corporation Bank, they have received they will receive the highest quantum. Allahabad Bank and Corporation Bank around 9,000 odd crores. Allahabad Bank almost to the tune of 7,000 odd crores. So that's a major chunk of this tranche of recapitalization. Clarification, I suppose we had also mentioned Orient Bank of Commerce this morning, but that's not true. Basically, in the non-PCA bank list, if you look at it, so Punjab National Bank, Union Bank of India, Andhra Bank, and of course Syndicate Bank. So these are the other banks that the government is looking at very closely. Interestingly enough, OBC may not be part of the list, but you have Bank of Maharashtra and Bank of India getting the next tranche of recapitalization. So the overall point that the government here is trying to ensure is all the regulatory capital thresholds are completely met. Your CET1, your net, your NNPA levels, your capital conservation buffer, and all these grounds, all these thresholds, all the regulatory parameters are to be met, and that's what the government is trying to ensure. They have really, pumped in enough recapitalization in PSBs over the last year and a half, 2 odd years now. Big numbers that we are talking about. And mind you, even after this tranche of recapitalization, I suppose some cushion will be kept aside in case something further is required by March 31.
All right, Sapna, thank you very much for joining in with that very important story. Even further recap is possible, as Sapna is pointing out, if the need arises. And this is essentially to help some of these public sector banks exit RBI's PCA framework.